so like the three examples on here, two of which I participate in. One of them I founded in my area. So these are three different groups. The Leftist Unity Study Group I just mentioned earlier, and hopefully still on here. Joshua Bradley, he's the one who get that group up and going down there in North Carolina. That's a really fun group to go to. You can see what they do there. The Madison Free School, that's up at Madison, Wisconsin. It's a very informal thing where people just come and they kind of side with the group as to what the discussion want to be. And then from there, it's kind of more of a round robin, like open forum discussion type of thing. If someone wants to lead the conversation, they can. But it's very informal with them. And sometimes they work out of the Social Justice Center on Willie Street there in Madison, but they also do stuff on Zoom because of the pandemic and everything. But in the middle is something I started in my area, this Quad City Radical Study Group, and we kind of did this because we wanted to cultivate a radical culture in my area. Unlike Chicago, where I used to live, as well as Milwaukee, they have like an activist culture. My area doesn't have that kind of culture at all, so we had to kind of cultivate that. We have a Discord group where we kind of make decisions on there. And we do very short articles. We do zines. Sometimes we just show YouTube videos, maybe clips from movies, depending on what we're doing. And we choose a facilitator each time who's going to facilitate that topic. And then has shown success in the last 4 or 5 years we've done that now. And now it's something that people like want to be a part of now. And we kind of use that now to kind of link in folks to, get with this union group. Get with this immigration rights group now. And there is a local DSA chapter. Also, maybe go with them if that's something you would like to do also. Or work with some of the local Greens. So these are some examples. And again, they're on the GSOP website as well. All of this is on the GSOP website as a resource, so you can always go back to that and everything. Garrett, talk a little bit about the group or two that you've been involved with and how they're similar or different from these groups.
Yeah, the most recent reading group I was involved in earlier this year was a little bit more focused on grassroots democracy and green politics. And because of the pandemic, we decided to put it on Zoom. But we met every couple of weeks on Zoom. There was a article that came up first. I put out an article for people to read a week ahead of time with a little reading list. And we get together and very similar to what the Leftist Unity group does. There'd be kind of an introduction, and then we kind of let people throw in their own analysis. And not only their own analysis of that particular article, but to link it to what we're seeing locally in our local politics. And that engaged a lot of interesting discussion about how we can implement grassroots democracy better within our local organizations. And kind of as I had mentioned earlier, we use that as an opportunity to teach ourselves about what does real democracy look like, because we don't really have a democracy in the U.S. We have this representative oligarchy thing that's like not even really democracy. So we kind of have to teach ourselves democracy. We're not actually going to learn it from the system that exists today. So within these reading groups and transferring it to our organizations that we're part of, we can learn more from it. And so I think it was pretty successful and great.
Thank you for sharing that, because the one thing I wanted to illustrate, is that these reading groups and discussion groups don't have to be the same at all. Make it your own. And that's the one thing I'm going to really emphasize is, make it your own. not just like your local. It could be something that everyone's really driven about. You know, if your group is really driven about decolonization, you know, maybe do something around decolonization. You know, if it's about Black Lives Matter, then do something around Black Lives Matter. You know, so really try and make it more unique for yourself. Because, like I said, the groups I was involved with, all three of those are vastly different from one another. You know, and they don't have to be that. Even Gary provided what he's shown also, that they're not what we do with that and what have you.